Censorship. Here we go. Censorship day 2. What did we do on day 1 of censorship? Think about censorship. Today's day 2. What is censorship? Censorship happens when you're doing something right. Okay, it means that you're saying something that shouldn't be said. You're saying something they don't want you to say. Okay. Now my censorship, it's a bit difficult, not for me, but for them, because I am not really doing anything wrong. First of all, I'm not sharing any state secrets. I'm not using anybody else's information. Everything that I talk about, everything that I speak about comes from up here, stuff that I've worked out. So it's not like they can lock me up and go, it's illegal. I'm working stuff out on my own. A lot of people think that I get my stuff off of YouTube and things like that. I do post on YouTube, but I get my stuff from up here. I'm obviously wired differently. I'm always saying it's common sense. I think it is common sense. The things that I say, I think are common sense. So why did I get censored? I got censored. This was about the speed of light, because I have worked out that the speed of light radiating from the sun and all of the stars is absolute. People, I don't know why, common sense again, see, they've got this notion that the light traveling from our sun has been measured, timed, right? It's ridiculous. What they say is light travels at 299,792 kilometers per second. Now, our star has a diameter of 1,390,000 kilometers. If we divide the sun's diameter by the speed of light, we get the number 4.6, okay? 1,390,000 divided by 299,792 equals 4.6. This means it takes our star 4.6 seconds to radiate its light, the distance of its own diameter. Now, listen, me, I'm all about the common sense. Now, for anybody to think that it takes a sphere, any sphere, 4.6 seconds to radiate its light, the distance of its diameter is delusional, okay? Now, I more or less proved that light is absolute because I got a bulb and I put it up towards the sun so that the bulb was acting like the moon does during a solar eclipse. Now, when those two things are together, what they're saying, right, they're both the same diameter when you hold it at a certain distance, right? What they're saying is that the sun behind the bulb is traveling at one diameter every 4.6 seconds. So what you do is you look at the bulb, same diameter, right there in that moment in time. Can you picture the bulb radiating its light? One diameter every 4.6 seconds? Of course not. Now we have a mathematical constant called pi, right? So imagine the bulb doing that. So why do people think that the sun's doing it behind the bulb? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a mathematical constant. It doesn't matter what size it is, right? A sphere is a sphere. So one of my last posts was the pi thing, right? This is a mathematical constant. It's an equation. It's something that never, ever changes, right? It's the diameter of a circle. If you multiply it by 3.14, it will give you the circumference. Now, it doesn't matter how big we go or how small we are. A sphere is a sphere. If they think that people should believe that the sun is radiating its light at that rate, one diameter every 4.6 seconds, then you have to picture a light bulb doing the same thing, and it's ridiculous, okay? So pi proves that. I've got artificial intelligence, their artificial intelligence, totally agreed with me, 100%. It is a slam dunk. The light radiating from the sun is absolute, it can't be measured. Pi proves that, okay? I think it's common sense. I mean, who's timed this light coming from the sun? Nobody has. But due to the lies that have been told, right, on this planet, for many years, right, people actually believe that 400 years ago, right, give or approximately 400 years ago, there's a person called Christian Huygens. He came up with the theory, the wave theory of light, okay? This is hundreds of years before electricity. This guy's come up with the wave theory for light. All he had was the sun, right? It's ridiculous. Then we've got other claims in the same century. It's Olaus Roma. They've talked people into believing that this Roma dude was observing Io. It's a moon that circles our biggest planet, right, Jupiter. And they've made people believe this was the first attempt, right, of working out the speed of light. Just one day he thought, I'm going to check that moon out, which we struggle to see unless you've got a really good telescope nowadays, right? 1600s. Boom. Job done. Over 9 years. He reckons that, or they reckon, that he took readings as planet Earth was orbiting the sun, and he took a reading from when we were the closest to Jupiter, right? And he saw Io come out from behind Jupiter, and he took readings as we were getting further and further away, and we were our furthest away from Jupiter. A time delay. The further we were away from Jupiter and Io, the longer it took for him to see what was happening with Jupiter and Io. A light delay. Now he was using a telescope. He was using a telescope to take all of these readings, right? Now, how would you see a time delay if you were using a telescope? This is the number one thing, let alone that it's orbiting Jupiter at 420,000 kilometers, and it's only 1/38th the diameter of Jupiter. So I give you, if I decided to look at Jupiter and Io, right, and we're at our furthest away from it, we're this side of the sun, so we're here, the sun's here, and Jupiter and Io are over there. So I'm here, and I'm looking, yeah, there comes Io, right now. There it is, I just see it. But I don't have any timekeeping devices, but, yeah, there it is, okay. So if I I'll turn the hourglass over, and when am I going to do this next time? It takes 42 hours and 27 minutes for Io to orbit Jupiter. So how will I do that? Don't forget, we've got no electricity, nothing. No electronics, no timekeeping devices whatsoever. But also, I'm looking through a telescope, so everything looks fairly close. Now, we are at our furthest from Io and Jupiter. Now let's say we had somebody on Pluto at the very same time as I'm looking at Io and Jupiter, and they too have a telescope, okay? Now, do you think they're going to see anything different if they're looking through a telescope? Are they going to see Jupiter and Io a lot later, right? Well, I'm looking through a telescope from planet Earth, looking at Jupiter and Io, and I've got somebody a few billion kilometers behind me, also with a fairly good telescope, looking at Jupiter and Io. Now, where is the logic? Where is the logic in us seeing a different image if we're both looking through a telescope? Defies common sense, doesn't it? So then we've got to think that we're furthest away from Jupiter, and we go around the sun, and we're getting closer, and I take another reading when we're about halfway towards Jupiter. So now the sun is here. I've just moved around, and I'm taking another shot at looking at Io, and there it is. So I've got my previous notes, but I didn't have a timekeeping device. But, so how do I do that again without a proper, difficult? And again, why would I see any time delay, or why would I see it any closer or any sooner? Just because I've moved closer to it, if I'm using a telescope. A telescope takes away any time delay. That's what a telescope is, right? So the person on Pluto, somebody on Neptune, somebody on Uranus, we're all looking at Io through telescopes. What on earth would make people think that we're seeing different images if we're all looking through telescopes? We're all going to see the same. There's no time delay. There is no time delay. See, that's basic. So it's actually quite stupid, right? Now, this is why people get censored. People who can spot these ridiculous claims, right? They don't want other people thinking about these things, so they censor us, right? Oh, there's Io. I'll stop. Oh, I don't have anything like that though, do I? So what would I write it on? It's night time. I don't have any lights. I've got candles. I've got oil lamps, that kind of thing. That would be handy when I'm writing down the exact time that I saw Io come out from behind Jupiter, right? These absurdities are so obviously absurdities, but people believe them because they don't have the common sense to work stuff out, whereas I do. That's why we were censored, okay? So now, I have no choice but to carry on posting my content on platforms that allow proper free speech, right? They're platforms where people are allowed to make their own minds up, right? Those in charge don't filter out stuff that they don't really want people to hear. We're allowed to post everything we want, and then people can make their own minds up. Now, I don't lie, and I don't make things up, right? Which is why I'm being censored, right? But like I said, it's difficult because I am not stealing anybody else's secrets. It's not state secrets I'm sharing, right? I think it's common sense. I'm wired differently, probably because no school, country, education system got a hold of me full time when I was a kid. I was always moving about. I went to something like 8 schools in 3 different countries. No, 8 schools in Spain. It was in the UK. I went to school in America, in Virginia, Chesapeake. I moved about. So I didn't get my head, my brain manipulated by any one system. And then I joined the army, the British Army, when I was 18. And again, so all of a sudden, I find myself here with lots of knowledge, right? Objective. I'm not biased, I don't take sides. Yes, I do take sides. I take the side of my children's futures, right? And their friends. Because the people who are running things are liars, thieves, they're corrupt. They'll go to any means to get their way, okay? So all I have to hope is that enough people are interested in what I have to say that they come to places like Rumble or YouTube. Even YouTube is a bit dubious, but Rumble I do believe they let you post your content as long as you're not slicing animals' heads off, which I'm not into, because like animals, you can post whatever you want. And then the public can make their own mind up, right? It's on it's mainstream media. These mainstream social media platforms are just mainstream media. The garbage that they post, the stuff. If I came on right now and started saying, oh, I've just seen some aliens coming out from behind the moon and I think they're on their way, I get 200,000 views in 10 minutes. So that's the kind of stuff they like. They like the mind-numbing stuff, lies, things that confuse people, right? The amount of junk that people are being fed on these social media sites is a crime. I see things, right? It's like, what? And you click on, just have a look, and there's 70,000 people, and they're commenting, they're arguing over a headless chicken that was seen running through the ice in Antarctica, or aliens, an alien spaceship has been found in a well in Puerto Rico, right? And you can see the footprints that an alien has left, and oh yeah, well, we know that there are aliens, it's just a matter of time. This garbage, right? But they allow that because it confuses. What they don't allow is the good stuff, right? So, like I said, this is censorship day 2, and yesterday it was more of a case of gathering my thoughts and saying to myself, well, what should I do? Because it's a hit, isn't it, when the social media platforms that you've been posting on for years, like decades. No, was it 2007 for Facebook? I was there since it first opened, right? But we've had a love-hate relationship. I have been sent to Facebook jail so many times for saying things. Instagram hasn't been too bad, but as soon as I had posted the pie comparison with the bulb and the sun, both Facebook and Instagram froze me, right? I went to do a post about an hour or 2 after my pie post, and right now still it says your reel is still uploading, and Facebook, both of them. My last reels, 36 hours ago now, are still, they're just both frozen, still waiting to upload. Your reel is still uploading. Upload this, okay? So I will now be posting on Rumble. I have to post this onto the social media sites, right? Just to say it's a link. Not follow me at Rumble, but I will post this onto Rumble and then I will share. Now, there's always the danger that as soon as my name is obviously being flagged, so how do I know how many people will see it? So if you think I have something to say, share, tell a friend, right? I don't talk crap, I don't lie, and I don't make stuff up. And I have yet to be proven wrong with anything I have said. Sun's light is absolute, it is a slam dunk. These guys, back in the 1600s, what a load of absolute, I want to say it, I'm going to say good, right? Rubbish. Rubbish, rubbish. And it's time people woke up, right? So, no, I'm not going to give up. Those in charge, you think you can just flick a switch and I'm going to go away. This is my children's future we're talking about here, and the things that people believe, right? You've got a solar probe that is orbiting the sun at a distance of 3, 4, 5 sun diameters. The things that people believe, right? And this is why I do what I do, because these things are not happening. And the sign that I'm hitting a nerve is my censorship. So don't think that they're censoring me because I'm talking rubbish. They're censoring me because I am close to the truth. It's now up to everybody on a personal level as to whether you follow me or not, okay? But I'm not going away. I, unfortunately, am not a giver-upper. Okay, so censorship, take that. I'll be back. Later, peeps.